Boosting, what up, man? What up? BD. What's happening? What's happening? Donaldo, Mo Boyd, Anthony Gotti. What's happening, everybody? Jason Ends, what up? Barcod from Somalia. What's up, Somalia? Back for another lunch. That's right. Peoria. I think that's your name. Brandon Washington. Raymundo. What's happening? Richard. Anthony Lopez. Lift Vet. What's happening? Area V, what up? I'm always happy to see your videos. Appreciate that, BD. Pedro Ramirez, what's happening? Um, let's see. Thing is, press different pressures, different durations, and then I put it in the wash and I wash it a few times. Put it in there with everything, just to see how it holds up. Just did a wash test. Did the results on Patreon. If you're part of Patreon, you've seen that post. I just put it up right now. Mike Torres, what's happening? Joshua Lucas, Diz, what up? Johnny D, First King, Iridata, what's up? Any promo codes or discount codes for ordering on HPN? Nah, Blake Saul, no promo code. Sorry, man. Robert Carell, connection is choppy. That sucks. Thanks for the info yesterday. 500 on order. That's right, Nalu. Bam. Very dope. Mike White, what's happening, bruh? CV, what up? Denise, Eddie's Club. Dope, man. Got a lot of people. Nick Rice in here too. What's happening? Never mind, it's good now. It might be my Wi-Fi fucking up out here. Good, I appreciate you. Saw your review, and that made me confident on purchasing HPN. Yeah, man. Check the links in the description if you're ready to buy. But it's a dope ass press. Obviously, it's right there, right in the back. Shit's ill. Charlene, what's happening? Big bro, can you talk about where to start on the legal aspect of starting a brand, seller's permit, DBA, bare minimum to start? Anthony Gotti, check out the very first 3 videos I've ever posted, ever. That'll get you going right there. Anthony, what's happening? W. Gomez. Trip out, I do silk screen, but I just bought my first ever Impress 15 by 15 heat press machine. What should be the main thing that can be used to up the revenue? Plastisol transfers, doing custom shit. Obviously you screen print, so you know how to do shit in bulk, but heat press is dope for doing one-off custom orders, doing smaller runs, shit like that. Brad Vent, what's happening, brother? Learned how to rewire my heat press plan yesterday. Damn, that's crazy, Jeff Walker. But do I need a LLC? I want to buy bulk from Bella Canvas. You don't need a LLC to buy bulk. You need a reseller permit. Check the very first 3 videos, Jay Russell, that I ever posted. That'll get you going. If you need to jam out, check out Fame on Fire. Very dope, man. I'll check out some Fame on Fire. Siege, what's happening? Tapped in, that's right. Carlos, everything's good on my end, man. Yo, can you use any printer to print your logos on your transfer paper? I don't print transfers out on my own. I use screen printed transfers, so I don't print them from like a desktop printer. I get them screen printed. Let me see. That press is dope. I got one and talk on it in YouTube video. Very dope. Who's a good company to get Plastisol transfers? The homie Ends Print Co. Jason Ends. Where do you get your screen printed transfers? I get them from all over the place. I use a lot of different companies. You could check out the list on bigbrando.com, or you could go to Ends Print Co. Jason Ends. Mike Franco, what's happening? Appreciate all that you do for the community and fans. Not a problem. Mike Franco, everything's good on my end, man. Yeah, most of the time I use a lot of different companies for screen printed transfers, Plastisol transfers. If you don't own the list already on bigbrando.com, hit up Jason Ends. Dude's dope, makes good fucking transfers. and really good competitive prices. I used DTG when I first started. Came across your page, man, and switched to Plasol. Heat transfers are dope. Lift Vet, very dope. DTG's dope too. But from a production standpoint, from doing it from home, if you don't own the DTG machine, Plasol transfers is where it's at. What's your opinion on Chromo Blast? I don't even know what Chromo Blast is, Kenny Dry. Sorry, man. OG Sports Collectibles from Michigan. What's happening in Michigan? Chris Scott, what's up? What do you recommend for starting sales? Shopify, Instagram. What's better route to take to sell a little more? Host your store on Shopify and drive the sales through Instagram. So they're going to work together. Just because you have a Shopify store doesn't mean people are going to Shopify to look up your store. You need to actually drive the traffic. That's where social media comes into play. Mr. Tanuki, what's happening? What's the next best t-shirt brand after Pro Club? It all depends on what you want to offer. If your customers are used to wearing Pro Club, I wouldn't switch it up. It's all personal preference when it comes to t-shirts. Like when I'm selling to certain customers, I use Pro Club. When I'm selling to certain customers, I use Gildan, I use Anvil, I use All Style. It all depends on who I'm selling to, because you want to make the sale as easy as possible for whoever you're selling to, whoever your target audience is, and whatever they're used to wearing. If they're used to wearing fitted shirts, obviously Pro Club wouldn't be a good t-shirt to sell to them. You know what I mean? So there's no real better of all of them. It's just basically what your customers are used to wearing and what you want to offer them. Ink's brighter from the transfers. DTG is a little dull. Yeah, DTG's hit or miss, because you have to remember that they print it out, and even though they print it out, they still have to cure it under a heat press anyways. You know what I mean? So sometimes it gets a little mute in that process, but it's a dope thing to do. DTG's dope, but it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? And you think IG is the better of the social platforms? That's just what I'm comfortable with using, is Instagram. Some people are more comfortable and their following's bigger on Facebook. Some people use LinkedIn. Some people use YouTube. Some people use... It all depends on where your audience is going to live. You know what I mean? If you're selling to a younger crowd, Facebook probably ain't it, because not a lot of young people are on Facebook. You get what I'm saying? You have to go to where your... basically where your customers are living. What social media platform are they using mostly? You have to do the research on who your target customers are going to be, because if your main, like, let's say if I was going to sell some like presidential type shit, like say if I was going against Trump or for Trump, right? So let's say I wanted to sell something in that space. Obviously both parties are very, very heavy on Twitter. You know what I mean? They're on Instagram too, but they're very heavy on Twitter. So the easy thing to do is jump into these conversations and post your shit and start engaging with people within wherever they're talking. You know what I mean? That's where you want to live, is where your core audience is actually going to live. Same thing goes for like people that are like car enthusiasts, right? They use a lot of Instagram, but they also use Facebook groups, and they also use YouTube. So you have to live within the comments of YouTube. You have to live within, these Facebook groups and Instagram. So it's just basically wherever you want to sell your shit and drive the traffic to the customers, you have to live wherever the customers are at. There's no better of the two. Like, I use Instagram because it's easy for me, and I know that when I'm selling shit to a certain audience, they're going to be there. Same thing goes for Facebook. I know that certain group is there on Facebook, so I could sell to them. You know what I mean? Let me see. What up, bro? Do you use the foil metallic at all, and how many washes will it last in your opinion? I don't use foil. I don't use metallics. I don't use flock, glitter, none of that shit. I just have no use for it. Not that it's bad or anything. My customers just don't buy that kind of stuff. Pressing hats, any tutorials on that from you? I rarely press hats. If I do, it's like a trucker hat and shit like that, but I probably won't be doing any tutorials because I don't do them so much. You know what I mean? I basically do the hat shit for like custom orders, unless I'm pressing patches. But that's just standard. It's just lay the hat down and then you press it. That's it. What brand t-shirt you have on? I like the neck. This is a Stafford undershirt. These are from JCPenney. Stafford white t-shirts are my undershirts that I wear. I just got out of the gym. Let me see. Thanks for the knowledge you pour out. Not a problem, Isaac. Brando and everybody, I'm back. Angie Mar, what's happening? Ain't seen you in a while. A week or so ago, you referred to YouTube video on Instagram. Wait. A week or so ago, you referred to YouTube video on Instagram marketing where the content was similar to what you talk about. Can you refresh my memory on the name of the presenter in the video? Wait. A week or so ago, you referred to a YouTube video on Instagram marketing. Oh, Gary V. Jeff Walker, just get up. It's in the Facebook group. I posted it. I think I posted it in there. I posted on Patreon. I posted it either Facebook group or Patreon, and the link is still up there. But he's basically talking about the same exact way that I do my Instagram marketing is the same way he's telling somebody on a video how to do it. Utilizing hashtags. I think he was using location. He was just going through location and then engaging with people. Same exact way I do the shit is the same exact way he's telling. Like, so obviously that dude is a genius when it comes to the shit. And if that's the method that works for him and that's what I've been doing, there's something there. You know what I mean? I just don't have his platform to really push the agenda, but that's how I drive traffic to my sites and make sales. And obviously Gary V's talking about the same exact shit. So there's something there, you know what I mean? Mike Franco said, know your target audience. Yeah, man, that's it. Thank you for the Starting From Scratch podcast. Yeah, not a problem, Angie Moore. Episode 3 is going to go live on YouTube. Patreon already had it since it was uploaded, but it'll be live, I think, tonight on YouTube. The Facebook group can be found through Patreon. Patreon.com/BigBrando is where you can find the Facebook group. How do I expand my reach out to make more sales? Or do you think a big free giveaway of 100 hats is smart or good or bad marketing? Taba Apparel, that's bad marketing. If you're giving away 100 hats, that's a lot of money down the drain. You know what I mean? It's the best way to expand the reach is utilize social media, man. Giving away free shit works, but at the same time, people expect free shit. A good example is on Patreon. I was showing how I did like some free giveaways to generate sales at Disneyland, and it works in the sense of me trying to get into certain areas to start marketing, so that way it brings some sort of awareness. But at the same time, you have people that just wait for the free giveaway and not buy. You know what I mean? You want the conversion, so it's kind of a give and take. You have to give a little bit, and that way you're going to get people to come back to buy, the people that can't make it to the giveaway. But then you also have the people that are just waiting for free shit. You know what I mean? So if you do that and you're giving away 100 hats, they're going to be like, oh shit, like this dude's eventually going to do it again because he's giving away so much. You have to give away a little bit, and that way you use it more for promotion so people could see the product and then eventually just buy. You know what I mean? Think $100 is good to pay in ads? Fuck no, $100 is a waste of money in ad space, man. You have to remember that when you do like boosted ads or you're doing pay-per-click and shit like that, you're going up against companies that are dropping thousands into this shit. So your little bit of money, not to say $100 is a little bit of money, but compared to like really big corporations that are using social media now, it buries the fuck out of small brands. So you have to remember when you do these sponsored ads, it's pay-per-click. So you put $100 into your budget, and then every time somebody clicks your site, it takes a little bit of that $100 away, right? But say if a bot hits your site and they're just clicking the link but not buying, it's just spending up your money. And that's what you have to understand, that there's a lot of companies that are doing that because they understand the pay-per-click thing and they understand the small business model of, you know, trying to reach thousands and millions or whatever it is. So they put these bots in place to keep clicking your links, and it's just spending up your ad revenue money that you're not even getting conversions. Like, people aren't clicking to buy, they're just clicking just to click the link to spend up your money. So it depletes your money, and then now the bigger corporations could take that ad space that you were taking up. You know what I mean? So it's a fucked up thing, but that is real life. Like, that's currently in social media now. So you might see like a lot of big corporations using, let's say, like Instagram. So they do Instagram, you're scrolling through, and then you're gonna see like an ad for, I don't know, fucking Old Spice, right? Has nothing to do with what you're doing. Usually you just scroll past it. But the reason that ad is there is because a Old Spice commercial on TV might cost like 50 grand to do. But they could reach the same amount of people, if not more, with like maybe 10 grand on Instagram. And it's seeing, that's where the attention is. So for big corporations, they're saving money on just pretty much dumping a lot of ad money into Instagram and social media, because the cost rate is a lot cheaper than doing the traditional, printed ads in a magazine that maybe a handful of people will pick up that magazine, or, commercials. A lot of people DVR shit and we fast forward through commercials. So you're not really seeing the ad space, but you're still paying, 50 to 75 grand for that 1 30-second commercial. Whereas you dump 10 grand into social media and people are scrolling past it and seeing it, and it's hitting a lot more eyes than it would on TV. So you're battling with big corporations as a small brand, and you get buried. Like, you get fucking buried, man. I seen a lot of people lose out. I'm gonna tell you right now, I seen a lot of people dump a lot of money into social media ads now, and then now these big corporations are just fucking everybody up. Let me see. Joe Gampa, appreciate the like button thing. Just got our Cricut machine yesterday, so now D3 custom tees can begin. Very dope, Denise. Congrats. Get that money. I'm making Disney shirts for my goddaughter and her family. This stuff sells quick. Chris Scott, you're not lying. Everybody around Disneyland wears custom t-shirts. If you have something witty, fucking put it up. If you searched Disneyland shirts or something on Etsy, you'll see all these people selling shit for like 30, 35 bucks, and it's just a vinyl t-shirt. They're making a lot of money though. Doing some IG marketing as I listen to this. Yeah, man. Mr. Tanuki, not a problem. Jose Menez, what's happening? Part of the Patreon fam, thanks. Yes, I saw it yesterday. I'm all caught up now. Very dope. Angie Marr, that's very dope. Makes sense. I agree. Good thinking. Not a problem. Can you use Plastisol transfers on beanies? Nah, probably not. I wouldn't. Mostly for beanies, I would just get them embroidered. You know what I mean? Because those beanies are made to stretch. They're made to take a beating. Different size head shapes, this and that. Putting a lot of wear and shit like that on it would be best to go with embroidery. Hey Brandon, do you make decals? If so, do you think a Silhouette Cameo 3 could print decals that's big enough for a truck? Yeah, you can. Let me show you something. So this is decal vinyl right here, right? You could tell because it has these little holes on the side. So you put this through the Cameo. Obviously, you only could do 12 inches this way, but then you could do it by run. So you could do 12 inches by fucking 36 inches or something, right? However big the windshield is. What's going to happen is you just turn your design sideways to print long way instead of a short way, and then you could utilize a longer piece of vinyl instead of just going with the basic 12 across. Depends how big you're doing it, but you could run it by run. So you could do 12 inches by 48 inches or whatever it is. You just set your board up that way. But it can do it. You know what I mean? The Cameo can do it. A lot of people get caught up in thinking they have to get like a 24-inch vinyl cutter to cut 24 inches. The Cameo could cut 24 inches. You just turn it sideways and, it'll be 12 by 24. Let me see. Quick question. Been wanting to ask. So you have all your transfers printed. Do you have certain designs you use vinyl for, or do you just use it randomly? Mario, all I use my vinyl cutter for is to test out designs. So what I'll do is I'll think of a design right now. I'll cut it out on vinyl. I'll wear it. And then if the reaction is good, then I'll make transfers for it. You know what I mean? If the reaction is bad, nobody gives a fuck about the shirt I'm wearing, I trash it. And I only wasted one t-shirt and a little bit of vinyl. You know what I mean? A Cameo 3 is a 12 by 12 inch base. Not sure what that means, Joshua Lucas. I think it's a little bit bigger than 12 inches. If you're talking about size on a table, it's a little bit bigger than 12 inches. Freshwater, what's happening? What's the best emulsion? Not exactly sure. Jared Yanez. I haven't fucking screen printed in years, so not exactly sure what's the best out there. You might want to hit up like Jason Enns or somebody. Rye Beats, if he's in here, he could help you out. Any info about starting with sublimation? Just purchase ink and sys system, but now I'm lost. I used to do sublimation. I don't know, 8 years ago or something like that, and I just did socks. The one thing I didn't like about sublimation is you could only do it on white polyester shit. So that was one reason that it turned me off. And then also a lot of other people started sublimating on socks and it saturated the market, so I wasn't making as much money as I did when I first started. So I just eventually stopped. So if you're starting out with sublimation, it's cool, but I stay away from it because I don't do a lot of polyester shit. Thanks for all the advice and information you make available. Anita, I think that's your name. Appreciate that. I can't import a Silhouette Studio file to Inkscape. Any help? I never use Inkscape, so I don't know. Seems that Silhouette Studio saves the file as studio files and not as a real SVG file. I don't have studio design version or business. Oh, BD, so you're talking about you design something in Silhouette and now you're trying to dump it into Inkscape? Most of the time people design in Inkscape. I think that's the free software that you get online. They design it in Inkscape, save it as a SVG, and then dump it into Silhouette. I think that's what people are doing. I don't do it that way, so I can't help you out. For me, you've seen the videos. All I do is save it from Photoshop as a PNG, open it in Silhouette, and then I live trace it in there. And I have the free version too, the basic Silhouette Studio version. I never updated or upgraded or nothing. Ryan Hamamura, what's happening? West Coast, that's right. What's up, West Coast? Unlettered philosopher, Assalamu. I think that's what you're saying. What's happening? Best dad hat? I don't know. I don't use dad hats. I just pretty much stick to the regular shit, like fitted hats and snapbacks and shit. Don't really do too many dad hats. So I wouldn't even know who to tell you to go through. I don't wear them, so I don't even know what they're supposed to fit like. You know what I mean? What's the best way to print tags on sweaters and shirts? Plastisol transfer, probably be the best way to do it. Do I have to have a social media following to start a brand, or can I rely on paid ads? Nah, I wouldn't do paid ads because you'll waste a lot of money. I don't have a social media following for my churro brand, and I've sold over almost 400 t-shirts. And that's off of just one t-shirt design and no social media following. So you don't necessarily need the following, you just have to put in the work to actually find the customers. I meant it cuts 12 by 12. At least that's the kind of mat they give you. Nah, you don't even have to use the mat, Joshua Lucas. I don't even use the mat. I could feed this full 15-inch roll through there. Don't use the mat, and you tell the Cameo you're not using a mat, and then you could fit a 15-inch roll through there. It'll cut 12 inches long, but then you could run it. You could do 12 by 24 if you wanted to. You just set up your page size like that. So you don't have to use the mat if you don't want to. In one of your videos, you said that you use 15-inch on the Cameo, correct? Yeah. So like I said, it's a 15-inch roll. I don't cut it down. I could just feed that fucker straight through there. Everybody could do it. Free shipping or have customers pay for shipping? What would be best? Have the customers pay for shipping. Why are you going to pay for the shipping? Z Beats? Doesn't make any sense. If it's going to cost you $8 to ship, and the t-shirt's only fucking $15, why are you gonna, eat the cost on shipping? Have the customer do it. Jeff Walker said, contact me later about sublimation. Very dope. Jeff Walker actually does sublimation. He's fucking killing that shit. Did you make a video on how to convert your AI file design to cut on the Cameo? My client wants a sample before I run this order. The AI file has to be saved as a SVG. So you save it as a SVG and then you open it into the Cameo. I don't do it that way, but that's how a lot of people say to do it. Do you prefer Cameo versus Cricut? I've never used the Cricut, so I can't speak good or bad things about it, Emily. I've only used the Cameo, and it does exactly what I need it to do. Ira Daughter, easiest way to get a JPEG to vector. My Plastisol company needs it as a vector. Yeah, most companies are going to request a vector. JPEG is a pixelated, rasterized design. So JPEG means it's composed of a lot of little dots to make a design. The easiest way to do that is either live trace it in Illustrator, or you'll have to send it out to a graphic designer to get vectorized, and you'll have to pay for it. Depending on how many colors are in the design and shit like that, it could be pretty costly if you don't redo it yourself in Illustrator. But most of the time, that's what they want is a vector file, because JPEG is a rastered image where it's composed of a lot of little dots. When you blow it up, that's why it looks blurry on the edge, because you can start seeing the dots, which makes for a really crappy ass print. So vector turns it into a shape where you could scale it up, scale it down. It'll always be sharp around the edges because it's an actual shape. If that helps in any way. Where are you getting your transfers from? I order them from all over the place. I use a lot of different companies based on single color, multicolor, sheet size, turnaround time. All of that shit plays a factor into the companies that I use. But if you just wanted to order some Plastisol transfers, check out Ends Print Co. If not, you could check out the list on bigbrando.com. But Jason Ends makes transfers also. What's the perfect temperature to press Caesar vinyl? There's no perfect temperature. You just have to dial in your own settings for your press. Like I have the Craft Pro back here, and then I have a Signature Series press on the other side. I could press the same Caesar vinyl, but both presses will have different settings. That's just how things are. It's the way that the shit heats up. It's the pressure. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So you have to find your own settings. I recommend going off of the recommended settings and then making minor adjustments from there. You can choose what file to save as on Inkscape as well. There you go. I've never used Inkscape, but sounds like a lot of people in here use it. So there it is. With the Pro Club shirts, if you're not in LA, can you still get them for cheap even if you don't have a wholesale license? That I have no idea, Brittany. For myself, I know of the wholesalers here in downtown LA that sell them for a wholesale price. If you have a fashion district in your area, like in your downtown area, wherever city you live in, most of the time there's like a jewelry district, business district, fashion district. And this is just basic shit that's in downtown areas. I know most major cities have them. The fashion district is where you could find wholesalers where you don't have a wholesale license, but they'll sell you shit in bulk. Yupong has good dad hats. Chris Scott, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Been doing custom sports related shirts for parents and decals for school. Finally looking into starting a brand. Your video's been clutch. Very dope. Mario, man, get that money. It's good, brother. Question: how do I transfer SVG to Illustrator? Thanks. That I have no idea. I've never, like I said, I've never done SVG files. I know people create SVG files in Illustrator. But for myself, I don't do it that way. I use Illustrator for vector files, just AI files only. And then I also use Photoshop for PNG files. G6 Customs, what's happening? NorCal in here, that's right. Do you still screen print? I just started with a manual. What's a good way to get local clients? I don't screen print myself no more. Seeking self. As you can see, my workspace is small as fuck. There's not a lot of room to do that shit. So I don't screen print anymore. Best way to get local clients is utilize social media. Do high schools, churches, all that shit, man. There's money to be made everywhere. Construction sites, you can make money all over the place. Barbershops, that's like 4 different places I told you to look right now, just thinking of it off the top of my head. Bless us with some wisdom. Tell us about your creative process to design. I actually have no creative process. I look for a way to make money, and then I design around that. That's all it is. So I look for somewhere where there's a void. Obviously, if you are on Patreon, you'll see how I started this churro shit, why I started it, and then how it's blossomed into what it is now. Do I need Photoshop or Illustrator to use my Cameo 3? No, you don't. Anita, you could just design and do shit right in the Cameo software. Silhouette has its own software. You could create shit that's native to the Silhouette Cameo, and you could create shit in there and then cut it straight from there also. Affinity Designer can convert to any format it's made for vector and raster. Check it out, and it's affordable. There you go. Area V said Affinity Designer. Do you use flyers? Sometimes, not really. I use stickers. I use different kinds of business cards. So I use stickers like this. This is for the churro shit. I'll use these as business cards. People see me out, I'll give them stickers. Um, I'll use you know, I don't know if you ever see my dollar bill business cards. I don't have them laying around. I use that shit. Just get creative with whatever you use. When ordering transfers, do all sheets have to be the same, or can you mix it up as far as designs? No, you have to get all the same design on the sheets. That's why you gang up a shitload of different designs on one sheet, and then you get 100 of them made, and now you have 100 of each design ready to go. You have to remember that the process is screen printing. It's the same way you would screen print on a t-shirt, is the same exact process they screen print onto a transfer. So they're not going to burn a shitload of screens just if you wanted like 4 of this design and 2 of this design and 1 of this. That's not going to happen. You need to put different orders for different designs. That's why I say gang up a shitload of them on there. So if you could gang up 4 designs on one sheet, you're already winning. You get 100 of those made, it'll be like a quarter to 30 cents per design. You know what I mean? You pay $1 a sheet or $1.50 a sheet, whatever it is. You order 100, that's 150 bucks, and you have 4 to 5 designs ganged up on that one sheet. You're winning already. Like it would cost way more to do it screen printed than it would be to get transfers made. Let me see. Is there a way to get all black design on a black shirt without having to put a white outline? Nah, you could do that, but it'll get lost. I've done this before in the past. Because like I would say in 20, I think it was probably like 2008. I don't even think it was 2010 yet. 2008. A lot of shit was going like all black at this time. If you were like not following fashion, but you were just watching how fashion worked. So putting like a gloss black print on a black t-shirt was a cool thing. You know what I mean? A lot of brands were doing it at the time. And screen print, obviously, it has, depending on the Plastisol ink they're using, there is some sort of little sheen or shine. But if you put a matte print on a black shirt, it would get lost in the shirt. So it can be done. You don't need the white. You don't need the white outline, I guess you could say. Do you make your own stickers? I do not. I outsource my stickers. I do decals, like if I'm cutting out shit with my vinyl cutter, I'll do decals, but full color stickers I don't do on my own. What HTV that you use for dry fit? I don't do dry fit t-shirts, so I don't know. You could use any HTV as long as it's made for the material that dry fit material is made out of. Let me see. Dougie Designs, what's up? Jesse Cruz, you rock. Thanks, I appreciate that. Do you create a website for different ideas, or it all is on one site? Example, I have some seasonal ideas that don't go with the brand, so I need to set up a totally different site. You could set up a different site. You could set up different collections on one site. You could do, you could buy different domains and then point them to different collections on your site if you just wanted to operate off of one. There's different ways to do it, or you could just do, different big cartel sites, the free ones, and then just post up the seasonal shit or whatever it is. It all depends on how you want to operate your business. What makes more sense for you? You know what I mean? Should I do adhesive vinyl or just standard vinyl? Is there a huge difference? Brittany, I don't know what adhesive vinyl and standard vinyl is. Are you talking about for t-shirts? If you're doing t-shirts, you have to use heat transfer vinyl for the shirt. And then if you're doing decals, you would use decal vinyl for the shirt. I mean, for the decals. My Cameo's still messing up on cutting vinyl. There's no breaks in between, and it's not cutting all the way through. Maybe I can decrease the speed and see from there. Yeah, Ravent, I'm not exactly sure. You might want to check to make sure your blade is pushed all the way in. One of my homeboys was having the same issue where the blade was cutting deep, was because it was compensating because it lifted up out of the holder a little. So you would have to like fuck with that. Let me see. So make sure that the little blade is like seated all the way into the holder. If you want a screen print, check out Exo Stencil. That skips the whole burning a screen process. Cool. I don't feel like screen printing, but whoever wants to, that's cool. You still have to clean your screens. You know what I mean? That's the thing that I don't like about screen printing is setup and cleanup. It's the same exact process for one shirt or 1,000 shirts. You gotta set everything up. Once you print whatever, how many shirts you want to do, you have to reclaim the ink, clean out your screens. All of that is still a process outside of just burning screens. Curing the shirt, printing, having the space to do all that. So it's a big it's a lot of shit to do. Like if you watch Rye Beats, his whole garage is set up around printing. You need your whole garage. Like I got motorcycles, I got cars, I got all kind of shit in my garage where I can't fit all that in there. You know what I mean? Giovanni, what's happening? Good looking out for taking the time. Hopefully by the time you do another live chat, I will be starting on this journey and hopefully have better questions asked. Ask away. That's what these live sessions are for, man. Edwin, when ganging up, can I do one design all white and another design on the same sheet but in all black? So two one colors on the same sheet? No, you can't. You would have to pay a two color. That'll be considered a two color sheet. So you got to remember, it's just like screen printing, where if they burn a screen for whites, they're gonna have to burn a screen for black also. So you're gonna have to do either two separate orders and just do a sheet with just all white print and then another sheet with all black, or if you do both on one, it's gonna cost double the money because it's gonna be considered a two color print. Can they put a photo on a transfer like a DTG type? Yeah, you can. Adrian Velasquez. It's a multicolor print. They'll utilize halftones to get the gradients if that's what you're looking for, but it can be done. It's more costly though because obviously more colors on a transfer equals more screens to burn, shit like that. Do you know how to go about making a full color vinyl sticker, or how does that work without cutting out and placing each color? No, because a vinyl cutter is just a cutter. It's not a printer, Giovanni. So if your colors, 8 colors, you would have to feed all 8 pieces of vinyl through there. The best way to get it done is by somebody that has a plotter that does, cutting and printing. That's how they make like shit like this. Like this is a sticker. It's a multicolor sticker. So you could see that there's different colors in the churro. There's little drop shadows in there. The flannel shirt has a bunch of different colors in it. There's some shadows here. So there's a lot of different colors on the sticker. The best way to do it is just get multicolor stickers die cut, and you would have to pay somebody to do it if you don't have the plotter to do that shit. Let me see. Big Burn Blessing from Costa Rica. Ryan Sanchez, not a problem. What's happening in Costa Rica? Grill Sergeant from Germany. What's happening in Germany? Appreciate your time and knowledge. As always, Budweiser, not a problem. Sucks if none of your local screen print shops don't do Plasol transfers. What if you need some samples? You just hit the transfer company up and ask for samples. You'll get some shit that looks like this. Hold on one second. So this is a sample pack that you would get, and they'll send you like just random shit like this for you to print on, like just to try it out. There's the settings. So I picked all this shit up at ISS, but you could hit up any transfer company and ask for samples. You'll probably have to pay for the shipping, or maybe it's free, and they'll send it out to you. Let me see. Big B, have you ever used 613 Original Transfers? They have a great deal right now for single color Plasol transfers. I've never used 613. I know somebody in the Facebook group was talking about that. I think it was Diz and somebody else, or can't remember. I've never used them, so I can't say good or bad things about them. But it doesn't hurt to get some samples from them and then test it out. You know what I mean? What's the company you use for stickers? Are they expensive? Not too expensive, fairly priced. But I use 555 sticker. The reason I use them is because they're local to me. It's like a 10-minute drive to pick them up. So a lot of the shit I buy and do is based around convenience and accessibility for myself. I'll order from them. I got 500 4-inch die cut stickers for like $140 or something like that. I'm pretty sure you could get them cheaper online somewhere, but I had them ready in like 2 days, and I just went and picked them up, so I didn't have to pay shipping. It was just $140 straight up, and I bought the stickers. So if you could find somewhere else online and you don't mind waiting, obviously there's probably cheaper places out there, but for myself, convenience is key. I'm impatient when I order something. I want the shit right away. So obviously that's how I get my shit done. That's why I was using All Style, because I could just pick them up. Same goes for using, third party suppliers like SNS. I would use them because I could fucking go and pick the shit up. But since they're moving, it messes up my operation now. You know what I mean? Let me see. I'm gonna post a new venue for me and my wife that applies to kids on the Facebook page. Let me know what you think on the character. Appreciate your feedback. Not a problem, Ravent. Post it up. Check it out. There's always dope ass shit being posted in there. Like the homie that posted he had the little squeegee with his logo in there, which was dope. And somebody else just posted the shirts for the high school. That fucking design was dope as shit. So Facebook group is fucking cracking, man. I like that shit. Brittany, thanks for all the knowledge you share. Thanks for helping others win. Not a problem, man. That's what this shit's about. I want everybody to make money. I joined the Patreon. Best few bucks you can spend right now if you're looking to get into this business. Lose the Starbucks cup today and get on that Patreon. That's a good ass selling point, bruh. I appreciate that, but for me, that's why the Patreon, that's why I started the Patreon, was for people that were already either in this business or wanted to learn more about the business outside of YouTube videos, outside of all that, and just needed a little bit more detailed information. That's what the information's there for. Facebook group is there for sharing ideas, spitballing, brainstorming with like-minded people. It's hard to find focus groups like that where people aren't jaded or they're not biased. You know what I mean? So you post something in the Facebook group, everybody gets on there and everybody's saying what they like, what they don't like, what they would change. And it's just creative criticism. That's all it is. So that's what the Facebook group is for. Is just for that. Working on new products. You can show the products there and then people can talk about it. Nobody's trying to sell nobody on shit. Nobody's trying to push their agenda on nobody. It's just imagine yourself sitting in a room with a shitload of other people that's in the same boat as you. So as long as everybody's in the same boat, everybody's talking, everybody's trying to help everybody else win. That's why this the Facebook group is closed, or not closed, but it's a private group, and the only access is through Patreon, because it'll weed out the people that actually want to be there versus the people that are just trying to be in there and fuck things up. So that's why it's built up the way it is. But the Patreon shit, that's why, like, if you've seen how I talk about how I test out transfers and I test out stuff like wash tests and all that, I show the exact process on Patreon, how I did it with these new transfers, the wash test results, and that's pretty much how I do things with everything. I've had bad experiences with these transfers in the past, and they made a new formula, so I said, fuck, let me try this shit out. That's the information I wanted to share on Patreon, how I do my marketing, how I do all that shit, man. Geo Online, what's happening? How do I get in the Facebook group? It's through Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/BigBrando, that's where you'll find it. Patreon.com/BigBrando. This is offensive. Probably is. Did you talk about IG? Yeah, I do IG all the time. Let me see. I'm not looking for, not exactly sure. I'm not looking for promo, but if I send a link to my video in the FB group, Area V. I'm not looking for promo, but if I send a link to my video in the Facebook group, I wasn't sure if I could without permission. Yeah, if you're looking for criticism or something like that, go for it. You can post it in there. Like I said, that if you're trying to sell something, it's probably not the best place to do it, because like I said, everybody else owns brands. Nobody in there's a customer. Everybody's a peer. So it would be up to you. But that's all it is. What's the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything? I have no idea. Can someone spell it? I want to get on it. Patreon.com/BigBrando. That's all it is. Let me see. Big B, you're a legend. I appreciate that, Derek. If you get a resale license, do you have to get a business license? Yeah, no. Yes, you have to, because if you're like, let's say you're starting a business in whatever city you're in, right? And then you register your DBA, you get your reseller permit. Now the state, whatever you're operating in, is telling the city this person just zoned their house as a home business, and they have a reseller permit, so they're obviously buying wholesale and reselling. You don't think your city's gonna want a piece of that action? If you're operating a fucking $1 million business, let's just say it's $1 million business, you don't think your city's gonna want some of that? So that's why you have to get a business license. All cities are different. The license could be $25. I heard people say they only pay 25 for their business license, and then some people pay, like myself, it's $75. It all depends on your city, but just know that if you're operating a business and there's some sort of legality involved, like getting a reseller permit or something, you have to put your home address. Obviously, the home address doesn't mean that's your return address on when you ship out orders. That's telling the state this is where you're operating your business. You have a home business. You're printing shirts from home. You're selling retail online. So you're operating your business from this home. Obviously, they tell your city, and then your city's going to find you and say, hey, you've been operating this business for this long. How come you haven't came and got a business license? It's up to you. You know what I mean? You got to do your due diligence to make sure all your bases are covered. DC Customs sending out some Denver love. That's right. DC Customs. What's up, Denver? Who was my first company to order shirts from as a starter? Whoever you want to, Dalvinson, Batista. It all depends on what kind of t-shirts you're looking for. You know what I mean? There's no t-shirt company that's better than the other. Just because the price is higher on one doesn't necessarily mean that the quality's better. It's just basically what you want to offer your customers. If you watch that video of me showing that Harley Davidson shirt using an all-style t-shirt, that's a basic all-style t-shirt that they're using, and they're selling it for like $40. And that's a t-shirt that everybody could buy. That's a t-shirt that t-shirt warehouses sell for 3 for $9 or 3 for $10. You know what I mean? And that's what they're using to print their shirts on. So it all depends on who you're selling to and what your customers are used to wearing, what you want to offer your customers. There's a shitload of t-shirt companies out there, though. There's a ton of them. You know what I mean? It's mad love in there. Just want the fam to help me grow. That's right. What's up, Big Brando? We are a Rage Room, trying to make our own merchandise. You have a lot of good information. Appreciate it. House of Purge. Not exactly sure what a Rage Room is, but it sounds fucking crazy. Should I start selling and market first before going legal? Yeah, to me, I believe in proof of concept, meaning prove to yourself that your business is worth going legit, right? Make a few sales, see what the market tells you. You know what I mean? Because the shit that would suck is you go through the legal shit, right? And I always tell this to people that trademark shit right off the jump and going legal, getting LLCs and all that. What if the business is a flop and you go through all the legal shit and you spend all this money and time doing it without even testing the waters to see if the business is actually scalable and profitable? And then you wasted all that time, you wasted all that money on something that you went legal with before even knowing. So I personally utilize proof of concept and then see if the business is worth going legal for. Let me see. I sell a lot of shirts in person, but how do I transfer that to IG? Not getting a lot of sales there. Geo online. All you got to do is, if you're not selling shit on Instagram, like you're not getting any traction, figure out a different market to sell to. If you already locked down the in-person market, figure out a different group to sell to online. That's all it is. That you can find anybody online. You can find people that are into baked goods all the way to fucking people looking for mechanic work or whatever it is. Everybody's online now, so utilize social media, man. Freshwater said I paid $15 for my business license. That's it. $15 is the cheapest one I heard so far. Out here in Gardena, that shit's $75. What's a good place to get hats? I buy direct from the manufacturer. If I'm using FlexFit, I get FlexFit. If I'm using Otto, I go to Otto. To me, that's the best place, just ordering direct. Is getting a reseller license a good idea just to get a good deal on shirts for printing, but you have no intentions of reselling the shirt? You have to remember that when you have a reseller permit, you're buying with the intention of reselling that thing and collecting a sales tax. So you say you're buying a bunch of t-shirts just to have, and you want to get a good deal on them, like a wholesale price, and not pay tax. You have to pay that resale tax back. You have to pay the sales tax back on the shit. So if you're not using the reseller permit to buy and resell, don't get the reseller permit, because you're going to be paying you won't pay taxes up front, but you'll end up paying at the end of the year, your fiscal year. They're going to be like, all right, you bought, $1,000 worth of t-shirts. Where's the tax money for that? Then you're like, oh shit, I wasn't even selling them, or whatever it is. So if you're not going to be reselling it, I'd advise not to get the shit. Do you ever have issues keeping your Cameo 3 connected to Bluetooth with your Mac? I use the USB shit. I connect mine through USB, so I never have that issue. Did you ever use Etsy to sell? No, I don't use Etsy. Their markup is pretty high, so I don't fuck with them. Let me see. Appreciate your advice, not a problem. I use Etsy. It's a great service. Geo Online uses Etsy. I use Shopify because it's easier for me to use. It's cheaper for me to use, and I keep more money in my pocket. Everybody take some time and invest $5 for the Patreon page. Revent, thank you. I appreciate that. But the Patreon is only for people that want to invest in themselves. You know what I mean? It's guaranteed not going to be for everybody. You know what I mean? But for the people that actually want the knowledge because they're starting their brand, or they're already in operation and just need a little bit of extra information and knowledge, advice, or whatever it is, then it's beneficial to them. But if you're still on the fence of starting this business and you really don't want to, dump a lot of money into it, then I'd advise not to join the Patreon and just put that money towards more blank t-shirts and just getting your feet wet a little bit more. You know what I mean? The Patreon, the reason why I don't sell it, but I don't promote it as hard as I should, is because it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? I don't want people to invest into the Patreon if they don't need that information. Then it's almost wasted money. You know what I mean? Very new to this. Best advice. I want to make it work. Just start selling, Sidewalk Outlaw. Just start selling, because then the market's not going to lie to you. You know what I mean? The moment you put something out, the market isn't going to say, oh yeah, that's cool, we're going to buy it, or whatever it is. They're going to tell you the dead honest truth. And when market, I mean the public, I mean e-commerce. I'm talking about the people you're trying to sell to. So the ideas you have in your head, obviously they're ideas, and they're like, oh yeah, this is going to sell. Somebody needs this invention. Somebody needs this shirt. The cold hard truth is when you put it out to the market and the market says, yeah, we like it or we don't like it. That's going to be either you making sales or not making sales. You know what I mean? So the best advice I could give you is put your ideas out to market to sell. And that way you'll know if your business is worth pretty much scaling. You know what I mean? Or is it dead in the water and you just need to start something else? It'll tell you from the jump, man. Might have answered this already. Ordered my DBA from LegalZoom. Benefits of a DBA. Registering your business. Being able to get a reseller permit. That's the bare minimum of a business owner that you need to be able to get a reseller permit, to get your tax ID, get your business license, and be operational and legal. It's the very bottom basic. If you're just a guy that wants to start a plumbing business, that's what you would get is your DBA. And it's just saying, Brad Cabalao is doing business as, fucking coolass-t-shirts.com or whatever your business name is. You know what I mean? Keep saying it's the best investment I've made. Always keeps me inspired and motivated. Ravent, that's what I use it for also, is inspiration. It's from seeing what other people are working on and seeing other revenues, like Jeff Walker does some ill-ass shit. You know what I mean? And seeing him Makes me want to get fucking new equipment. And then seeing the other homie that has that big ass print and cut plotter makes me want to get one of those too. What's a good way to get attention? Because I'm going to sell a Juneteenth t-shirt at a citywide Juneteenth festival in the summer. What's a good way to get attention is start promoting to the people that are going to this Juneteenth festival. That would probably be the best way to do it, is building up the excitement around the people that are actually going to attend. Dope ass t-shirts. Yeah, not a problem, Brad. Can I make it only using HTV? Yeah. There's a ton of fucking brands that just operate off of HTV, man. There's a ton of people that just do that. Plastisol transfers are more for cutting the cost down. That's all it is you have a design that's selling, a lot of people are buying it, and then it's like, all right, do I want to keep weeding out vinyl and doing this, or do I just want to order Plastisol transfers and not have to weed shit and then bang them out? That's all it is. Big Baller Brand was doing all vinyl at first. That's exactly it. And they were selling t-shirts for expensive as fuck, and it was just vinyl. That's all it is, man. There's nothing wrong with vinyl. A lot of people think it's like it's cheap because you could do it from home, but not necessarily. It's like it's not cheap. People screen print from home. Does it make it cheap because you're doing it from home? No. So vinyl, there's nothing wrong with it. Let's see. It's all about consistency and persistence. Got to keep grinding hard though. Pays off. And then G Online, JE Online. That's exactly it, man. If the design is a lot of colors too, yeah. If the design's a lot of colors, it makes sense to make Plastisol transfers. What's a good design program to use for cheap? I have no idea, man. I use Photoshop and Illustrator. That's the only ones I've ever used. I don't know if it's cheap. I don't even know what cheap is for. Like I said, I don't count people's pockets. You know what I mean? If the business is revolved around designing shit, I'm going to buy the shit that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? So Photoshop and Illustrator is what I learned on. That's industry standard. That's what I'm going to use. I don't, like I always say this shit. If this is a business to you, treat it as a business. If this is just a hobby, then treat it as a hobby. You know what I mean? But don't confuse the two. You know what I mean? Like I said, like if you're going to work and you're doing a job and your boss is like, oh shit, like this hammer right here costs $20, but you could get this plastic hammer for $1. Wouldn't you be mad if your boss bought you the fucking $1 plastic hammer that can't drive nails? You know what I mean? A business, you're going to need the tools to operate your business. So treat it as a business. You know what I mean? Let me see. You really shouldn't mess with a lot of colors when starting out because the cost to produce is going to kill your profits. So this is absolutely correct. The more colors, the more money you got to spend, man. Random behavior, what's happening? It's like a Photoshop clone. There you go. I hate to backpedal off the last live, but I would love to see you, Stan Banks, T-shirt, Side Chick, and a few. I don't know who T-shirt Side Chick is. I got to look her up. Never seen her. And a few more at a meet and greet one day workshop. I'll pay $40 all day and would travel. Paris, that's a dope ass idea. I really got to put that in motion, man. That would be fucking cool to do. Do you know who does Plastisol in Orange County? No, I do not. Nick Lopez. I don't know any local Plastisol transfer companies or decent ones, which sucks. You know what I mean? It would be cool to have somewhere I could just pick the shit up, but the ones I've tried around here, the quality hasn't been good, so I always have to order them. Good point, Sidewalk Outlaws. Yeah, not a problem. All right, guys, I got to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody. If you wanted to join Patreon and you feel like you need that information, check out patreon.com/BigBrando. If not, stay tuned for another live. Oh, and episode 3 of the podcast goes live either today or tomorrow. Maybe today. I'll try to push it